Give you a little update on the state of the freight. Now that things are starting to open up, I'll let you know if I've noticed any change. Of the tubiest, the best YouTube subscribers on the planet. That's you, and I'm 50 plus. And let me first start by saying the background music is different, and it's different because Craig Davenport said, "Man, change the music. You've been playing the same song for the last 100 videos." So y'all can thank him for the new change in music. And so I guess what I'm going to do, and he's right, I've been, it's just lazy for me to keep picking the same one. So I'm going to start kind of mixing it up a little bit, okay? So if y'all don't like the change in music, blame Craig. He's been a long time subscriber, and he's commented on several videos, so he gets some props, so I listen to him. Okay. Anyways, so what do I think, man? I mean, freight's been, well, I'm gonna start by saying this. There's a lot of yapping, crying, and bitching and moaning and groaning about the state of freight, and for the quantity of freight, I'm imagining that it did go down some, quite a bit, and I'm imagining that for sure, I don't even have to imagine it, I know for sure the freight rates have plummeted, and it's all due to this, the COVID thing, and the economy fell off because nobody was doing anything, nobody was spending money, some people lost jobs, which is, I don't have to repeat that stuff, you guys know, and so yes, it did take a hit. And so you probably wonder, well, why am I acting like I don't know? And it's because I don't know. It didn't affect me at all. I felt no change in the state of freight. Okay. And Melton has done a fantastic job keeping us running. I mean, I just honestly, I didn't notice any difference. But what I have noticed lately, I've been spending a lot of time, well, I'll say a lot, more time at shippers than I had been. There's just so many trucks there when you show up, man. I mean, these people are moving some freight. So something obviously has changed because, I mean, the last two shippers, well, the drop I made this morning, I picked it up yesterday, and I was there I was there 5 hours and watched truck after truck after truck after truck after truck go before me, and then they finally got to me. And I've been there several times, and that has never happened. I've only had to wait maybe 30 minutes, In fact, as long as I've been pulling flatbed, I haven't had very much of a wait at all. It was my turn and I'm loaded, So you kind of get a little spoiled. But these last few days, excuse me, it's been quite a little wait, and I kind of remember that from my driving and reefer time, that I should get used to waiting, right? But it wasn't that way with flatbed. And when I would show up to these places, it wasn't near as crowded. But now, it's a lot. And I tell you something else too: the truck stops are filling up earlier now. So something is going on, something is happening. Things are obviously getting, better. Are they where they used to be? I have to, say I don't know. And I don't know because, I'm on the backside of it, man. And Melton is just, they've done everything else, all I do is wait for my Qualcomm to go off. And it just goes off immediately after my load's done, And so, if you guys are thinking about going into this industry and you've been kind of worried about, whether or not you're going to be able to stay busy, I would say not a concern. Go ahead and come on, get it. Get going, man. Go get your CDL and come join the rest of us and burning some fuel. Now, I'm trying to pull up a question, and I want to say the question or answer exactly the way I actually want to respond to the person who gave me this gave me the question. I want to be able to say their name, and the reason I'm going to do it on here is because it's kind of a broad question, but maybe a question that you guys may be interested in. And it also jives with what we're talking about here. Michael Abbott, he says, good morning, sir. And that was 6 hours ago, so my bad. I think he had sent this question earlier too, but I hadn't responded. I'll talk to you guys about my responses in just a minute. He says, good morning, sir. I'm currently working on getting my CDL. What advice would you give? And that's just such a broad question. I thought I would answer it in this video and then let him know that I did. Now, the first piece of advice I can give you is get it. It's worth having, and you are going to make some money. You don't have to worry about not having a job. Okay, that's number one. And the rest of it is same thing that I've been screaming the whole time. When you by the question, I'm thinking that you hadn't started school yet. So what I would suggest is that before you go to a community college or wherever you're going to go to school, go get your permit first, which means you're going to need to go pass the CDL, the DOT physical, and you're going to have to pass the tests at the DMV. So those things, you get those done ahead of time. That way, when if there's an issue that might prevent you from getting your permit, you'll know. Maybe you may have an issue getting your DOT physical. They may want to do a sleep apnea test. I don't know, but go get these things handled first before you get too far along. Those things are deal breakers, and they could, depending on whether it's under control or whatnot, it could prevent you from getting a CDL. So go take care of that first before you quit your job and all that good stuff. Next, you need to make a decision on whether or not you want to do what type of driving you want to do. Because there's so much. Do you want to be local? You want to be home every night? Do you want to be over the road? Do you want to do a dry van, refrigerated, open deck of some sort? And in each one of those, you can be regional, you can be OTR, you can be dedicated. You can miss so many different scenarios in which can do. And so you need to decide which route you want to go. Okay, and then you can start after you let's say you pick 5 different genres of driving. You might pick let's say dry van is your number one, and you would prefer to do OTR. So the first one would be dry van OTR. The second one, if you couldn't do OTR, maybe you would do, you want to do OTR so bad that you would do refrigerated and OTR. So maybe that's number 2. And number 3 may be dry regional. Number 4 could be dry refrigerated. Number 5 could be flatbed over the road. Let's just say that's what it is, okay? So now, what you want, the first thing that I would do is find a company that will suit best your number 1 position. Okay, the best company for dry van OTR that's going to fit your bill. Okay, so you put that one as the first company, and then what would be the next 5 best companies to do that one thing, a dry van over the road? And then you name those 5 companies. Investigate those companies. Make sure that those are good companies that you're going to like. All right. Then put a check mark next to that company if they will do refrigerated OTR. Give them 2 check marks if they do dry van regional, and then another one if they do refrigerated regional. You follow what I'm saying? It's on the pattern. Okay, and then after you have a good amount of companies that you can choose from, then make your mind up what your end game is. I got into this so that I could pull heavy with my son, oversized load, and so eventually open deck driving is what I was going to have to start doing. So I'm doing it with Melton now, and it's working out. But dry van and refrigerator was never my end game. So whatever you choose, let's just say your end game is you want to own a tanker and pull tanker materials. Then the companies that you chose for dry van, and that's all they do, then that won't work for you. So you need to find a company that's going to work for you and help you reach that end game. Okay, make sure you note that company there. They get another check mark and a star probably. Okay, and then out of your choices, determine on how you're going to pay for CDL school. Okay. And if you are looking for a company that will help you get your CDL, meaning maybe like a mega carrier or something like that, then you're going to have to choose a company that fits that bill out of those 5 you have to choose from. You saw what I'm saying? You just have to do some deductive reasoning and start slashing some stuff off. Have your little outline, write it down. Do not just keep it right here. Write all of this stuff down so you can see where you're going and see your little road map there. And your situation will dictate for you when you get started and where you get started. I would highly suggest in whatever you do during the training process, meaning the mentoring phase or whatever, if you can do that during the winter, that would be ideal. Okay. Is it necessary? No, because you can do it in the winter and have a crappy mentor that doesn't know how to drive in winter anyway. So what difference would it have made, right? So those things, you need to keep in consideration. And if you decided you want to do flatbed, come over here. Come over to Melton with me. It's cool, man. I'm enjoying it. You'll enjoy it. And any of you who would like to do flatbed, come on. Ride with Melton. And down below, there'll be a little link. You can click on that link and fill out a little information. Somebody will give you a call, and they'll let you know all of those questions that you have to answer there, no harm, no foul. I will say this: if any of you out there have experience, then you definitely want to, and you want to do some flatbed, then you definitely want to give them a call, and you want to do it quick, because pretty soon, all of these companies are going to start hiring again drivers with no experience. And then they are cheaper to hire than you are experienced drivers. So while their hands is somewhat tied, now would be the deal. Don't wait. Just jump on it now. The worst that could happen is if you would contact them and then they tell you something that you don't want to hear. Then stay where you're at, or look elsewhere. But no matter where you go, get going on it right now. Don't hesitate. I'm talking to experienced drivers, because when that door opens and the floodgates start pouring on in, your value is going to go down just a smidge, okay? Right now, you might have, upper hand, So I hope, Michael Abbott, I hope I answered your question. I hope I gave you some direction. And if you have any other questions, put them down there. Anyways, I'm home. I'm about to go enjoy my, take a shower and go to sleep. That's what I'm about to do. Till I see you again, deliver undistracted, and here's your boot. Yeah, boot.